For example, when you first see your photo on the New York Times website, you think, wow.
And only later, when you look at these photos, you think, I must be doing something wrong with my life in life.
This is not a story about us. That is, we are people with cameras and tell the stories of those who really deserve it. My name is Vlada Liberova. Maybe you'd better start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kostiantyn and Liberov, and this is my beloved wife, Vlada Liberova. We are a couple and photographers.
We are Ukrainian documentary photographers, military documentary photographers. I'm going to Izium.
What did we do before the invasion?
We filmed a love story, so they were mainly love stories. There were many creative projects. And basically, even last year, we taught more than we filmed. We filmed creative projects on a non-commercial basis, for the portfolio, for the soul, as it is. Because we've always loved photography, the process itself, and it's always been an important part of our lives. So with the beginning of the full-scale invasion, when we realized that our comfortable life, our work, everything's getting further and further away from us.
Filming love stories. Filming, for example, how people are kissing or studying from the photo. Telling someone about the composition and color. When literally bombs are flying 100 to 200 kilometers from you, people are dying. You can't find any moral strength for all that. And you start to think, well, we have photography. With all our soul, we love photography. And it's probably the only thing we love in life. What can we do so that our photography will be still alive?
It all started with our first days of volunteer work in Odessa. In fact, it all started with it. From the first photos Kostya took at the Odessa train station. We went there to bring and pick up something from the humanitarian aid, and Kostya stayed there and filmed men saying goodbye to their wives and children who were forced to leave.
It was an evacuation train to Western Ukraine.
Quite emotional photos came out. This process is fascinating because it's a real photo. The photo as it was intended, that is, your job as a photographer is simply not to interfere and try to capture the moment. This is where it all started. We understood that we were not bad in some things as we believed. We were not bad photographers at all, and we could still be useful. And we started traveling randomly, without experience. Even without protection at first. We had neither bulletproof vests nor helmets.
What about horse helmets? Wait.
Yeah, my younger sister's into equestrian sports, and on our first trips she traveled with us, and we had equestrian helmets. And with those equestrian helmets and without bulletproof vests, in Kharkiv we were under very heavy shelling. They were literally shooting at the building that we were in, and hit it with a mortar. When you lie, and in the first few minutes you think, what am I doing here?
When you look at your published photos and you think that we were there, we were filming it. It happened to us. You scroll it in your head sometime later. But at the time of filming, the emotions go to the background, and you just know you must do it. You must be here. You must think about the composition, the color, and think how everything will look like when it gets published. And all these thoughts occupy your brain during the filming. Probably not the brain, probably everything.
Would you like to know more about Ukropchik? He's just eaten shawarma, and now he goes to the town of Izium.
Is that our Russian Lend-Lease?
Definitely.
I got that, thanks.
Kostya, finally a suitable transport. Kostiantyn, do you like the cabbage rolls?
I'd like to say that they're tastier than one of my grandmother's.
I agree. They're very, very tasty. And really tastier than one of your grandmother's.
Try starting the car first.
In general, a person is so interestingly arranged that this switching takes place. Not every time, but there were times when we arrived somewhere, and we had the feeling that the place could definitely kill you, and even wanted to. After the liberation of Izium from occupation, the exhumation of the victims took place. We filmed that exhumation. It was the first time for us. It was the first time we actually saw death and killed people in such numbers. We wore masks, but no mask would help. That smell of death. It's something, you know, that goes against human nature. It cannot be compared to anything. It cannot be described, and no words can say what that smell is. And I understood that no matter with or without the mask, I just couldn't breathe. That is, I couldn't breathe physically. And I was relaxed the moment I picked up the camera and started shooting.
Perhaps I had similar feelings when we were running across the bridge. It was the bridge about 400 meters, and it was completely shot through. We realized that there was a drone above us. We were running, and the shelling started. One mine fell, the second, the third.
Mines were falling 15 meters from us. They were shooting at us.
There's no shelter nearby. You are on an open suspension bridge across the river which is under fire.
You will outrun him or not, which I basically did. You can run over it or you won't. I managed to do it.
There was a question about fear. Actually, as strange as it may sound, at that moment there was no fear. Because damn, there are soldiers. Something is exploding. You need to film it. And you are already standing on that bridge, filming the pass of this mine. And later, when you look at these photos, you think, maybe I'm doing something wrong with my life.
Have you written down everything?
Yes.
Documents?
We started with a lot of taboos that we had set out, one of which was that we'd never film death and dead people. And then we realized that if you called yourself a documentary photographer, then you had to document everything, because otherwise, it could first of all be viewed by the enemy as an argument that it never happened. We got into that situation when Irpin and Bucha were liberated. Kostya was there, and he wasn't filming dead people. He only filmed living people and destruction. From the very beginning, we said that we wanted that our photos would give hope. That's why we refused to film that.
But now we understand that it was wrong, and we shouldn't do so.
Yes, because on that side, these photos became simply a star of propaganda media. Like there was a photographer, a volunteer, and he filmed nothing, meaning it didn't happen. Then they gave us such good equipment, which sounds like this. Film everything. Always film everything.
Time will show.
And the time will show whether it should be published or not. The main thing is to film. And what to do with it next, you'll decide yourself. I think our task is to tell and show the truth. The truth is sometimes painful. It can be painful. And I believe that it should be like that. If it's a traumatic moment, then it has to be shown as something traumatic as it really was.
This is something. I remember, it's a cemetery near Bakhmut, and these are pre-digged graves.
This is a person with Russian citizenship and passport who's fighting for Ukraine. This is a person who couldn't be silent, couldn't bear it, but took a gun and went to defend the country. This is his comrade. It's a legion called Freedom of Russia. All Russians are there, and they all fight on the side of Ukraine. Where do you come from?
We are all from Russia.
How did you decide to fight on the side of Ukraine? We're very grateful to you, but
How could we remain indifferent?
many of your fellow citizens remain. You know, that's why. It's very important for us that you're here now with arms in your hands, supporting us.
It's the same duty, although we aren't citizens of Ukraine. But Ukraine's our home.
Thank you for that. How do you like the Ukrainian army?
Great.
Not offending?
No.
Well, friends, together to victory. We thank you. Everything will be Ukraine.
Everything will be Ukraine.
This position is 400 meters from the enemy.
And it's very cold there. Do you see the bottle of water? The ice is inside.
And it's still considered as improved conditions because people have a dugout that they can theoretically light a trench candle. Because there are Z-arrow trenches without dugouts. And the trench candle can be worth your life because the fire is the smoke that shows where you are, and the enemy artillery will immediately start firing there.
Enemy artillery or snipers.
Or snipers, yes.
Enemy soldiers totally packed with thermal scopes and other equipment for killing Ukrainians. Three, four, glory to Ukraine.
These are Ukrainian kids playing the checkpoint. It really feels like an off-season Christmas carols. Kids ask you for a password, you say the password. If you have sweets, you give them sweets. Although I'm smiling, but I'm actually very sad about it because it isn't a kind of games that kids should play.
And it's basically their only entertainment.
Kids living in the newly liberated town are most likely to have seen death, destruction, and war. There's no connection. Nothing.
Shops are closed, no sweets.
And it's really their only entertainment.
Guys, what are you doing?
We're at the checkpoint.
And what are you doing?
We stop the cars. Not every car stops.
Got it. Have you collected anything?
Sure.
It's great. You're cool. Take care, please, and don't get sick.
Ukropchik has found himself. Now he's a Da Vinci's wolf. He's finally got to real trenches.
We filmed Da Vinci's funeral, and to be honest, it was very, very hard to film because, first of all, I knew him. I knew his girlfriend. We communicated. And when I realized at the funeral that as a photographer, I had to capture all that pain to make it clear for everyone that it hurt, I had to film his girlfriend Alina. And it was very, very difficult to film, and...
You know, it's so painful. Because you realize that it shouldn't have happened. We all seem to feel more than just loss. We all feel, you know, that we're deceived by the universe.
Something has exploded in the yard. There was an explosion right in the yard. Here.
Is everyone alive where Da Vinci is?
Doctor.
Doctor!
Mykola!
Where to go?
Mykola! Doctor!
Coming.
Mykola, backpack.
A satisfied portfolio.
We were sure he would survive. I cried my eyes out at this funeral. And it's so strange because you're literally crying and filming. And it's... Three days before that happened, we were working with him all those days. We spent the last days with him. The first day we met, he took Kostya to the mission. Kostya sat on the tank's armor, not inside the tank, but on top. They went to the place where the Russian positions were.
Enemy positions were 50 meters from us. We were shooting at them from the tank. I was on the tank. Now I'm telling you this, and it probably seems strange because I'm a civilian. But when you're next to Da Vinci, it seems that nothing bad can happen to you because Da Vinci is sitting next to you.
And when he went, I thought, God, what have I done? I let him go on the mission. I realized that I could tell Kostya that I didn't let him go. This is a very big risk, a really big risk. Because yes, it's very fun when you tell now that you drove a tank into a grove, but a tank is a big target, and it is easy, quite easy to shoot, and it could have ended very, very badly. I realized that Da Vinci was the only person I could let my husband go on the mission with. I probably won't be able to do it with anyone else again. He had the latest trophy and the coolest Russian T-90 tank.
The newest and coolest tank.
And that tank was shot at and was on fire. Nobody wanted to put it out because the tank was fully equipped. And it was very dangerous.
It was burning.
And it is already burning in front of Kostya's eyes. Large caliber ammunition on the turret started working.
So they have already started to work.
Da Vinci actually said to give him a bottle of water, and then went to put out that tank. We have a photo of him, obsessively putting out the tank. He climbed onto the burning tank and put out the flames, and the tank didn't explode.
No one approached that tank except him.
We even have a photo where his comrade's hiding behind the tree. He's waving something at him, and Da Vinci is putting out the flames on the tank.
That's probably the best feature showing who Da Vinci was.
Everyone knows he was a great warrior. He was also an incredibly good person.
Vlada took this picture. I like it so much.
When I film artillery, I do it from a distance because I was concussed once. The first time when we were filming a Soviet self-propelled gun, I went quite close to it, and I was so shaken that my helmet flew off and I flew away. I felt very bad that night, like never before in my life. Those feelings couldn't be compared with anything. You felt sick, and at the same time you couldn't get warm, although it was summer. It was warm, I was dressed, and I had 2 blankets with me, and I was shivering in a terrible cold. You couldn't get warm. That's why I only film artillery with a telephoto lens now, which Kostya gives me, and the photos come out with a cool view. For example, when you see your photo for the first time on the New York Times website, you think, wow, cool, I'm on the New York Times website. It's not even joy.
Like, wow, how is this?
It somehow turned out to be even easier than I'd imagined. Now, every day there are some publications in the world mass media because today, as freelancers, we give photos to the Associated Press Agency, and through then, these photos are being published in the big media. I realize that the best our photos have been shot now, during a year of war. If I was told that I'd never be published in the New York Times, I'd gladly accept. Because these aren't the kind of pictures, these are not the photos you want to take. It's such a, strange feeling. On the one hand, well, you're happy. On the other hand, you realize through what events you've been here, and you understand that it'd just be better not to do it. No New York Times, no media, and no war.
Is culture a weapon? Definitely. Why should we ask?
If your art isn't political, then it isn't art. It's a kind of craft. Something routine, uniform, stamped. And it turns out that if such events take place, and they aren't reflected in your art, then you cannot call yourself as an artist because they're completely different things. This family lived in this house. Continued, which is located due to constant shelling in the city, they cannot be reached. I believe that if we want to finally win this war, we must build for a while, maybe, for a decade, for a generation, a cultural wall from Russia, because otherwise, this soft process of Russification will continue.
Oh, here's a plane.
And we must do something so that it won't happen. For example, we're from Odessa. We spoke Russian all the time. After the events in Irpin and Bucha, we started to speak Ukrainian. It was very difficult, but we did it. And I'll explain why. It's not because of a desire to have nothing in common with Russia, although it's true. But it is, to a greater extent, a desire to have more in common with Ukrainian culture. The difference between Ukrainians and Russians is fundamental. It is in values, it is the level of life, if you like. It is in everything, and we are really completely different, with a different course, and so on. After the victory, it seems to me, there will be another one. A test that will consist of, can we unite, but all ready for reconstruction? You have to understand, it's something that, our lives literally depend on it. our future.
And if we do, and I hope we do then, you know, we will have a strong country, where agrarians and IT people develop, get rich, and everything will be fine.
Розвивайтесь, багатійте, і все буде добре.
And for the world to continue existing as it has for these years, we need to defeat this enemy that is attacking us now.
Therefore, supporting Ukraine is the best option for this. Any support.
This is an investment in a peaceful future.